Hey guys, it's Erin and welcome back to another video where I'll be throwing some pretty basic planters along with their saucers. I bought some plants a while back and right now they're just in little nursery pots that they came with, and I could go and just buy some planters, but what's the fun in that? So this week I'm going to throw and trim my own planters with stoneware clay. At the end of the video you'll see their final greenware reveal, and they'll need to dry more before I can fire them in a kiln and glaze them, so they're technically not ceramics until I fire them, but I hope you enjoy the process nonetheless. And with that being said, I want to mention that I want to change things up a bit for this video, and instead of explaining my ceramics process, I'd kind of turn this video into a throw with me and chit chat video, much like those get ready with me and chit chat videos that you would see in the beauty and makeup part of YouTube. So you'll see me do everything, but instead of hearing me explain every little step, I'll just be talking about a particular topic. And the reason for this is because I feel like I can only repeat my process so many times until it gets boring and repetitive for both me as the creator and you as the viewer. Like, there's only so many ways I can explain coning and centering and pulling walls, and I also want my videos to be unique as well. But I'm still not 100% certain about what makes a unique video, given that YouTube is full of amazing content already. But I thought I'd start by sharing my own human experience, and to be specific, I'll be sharing my process for moving to a new state after I graduated college, and maybe it will help out any of you guys who are thinking about moving, but don't really know where to start. So to give you a bit more context, I was born and raised in Ohio and graduated from The Ohio State University in 2017. And in that same year, I packed up my things and moved to Los Angeles with the goal of pursuing opportunities that I felt weren't available to me, or at least hard to come by, in Ohio, along with a plethora of other reasons that I won't get into. And during this process, I didn't have a job lined up post-graduation. So at first, I tried to play it safe and apply to jobs in LA while I was still in Ohio, in hopes of securing a way to make money before I moved so far from my support system. But unfortunately, I didn't get any responses from employers after months of applying. And I'm still not quite sure if this hunch is right or not, so recruiters, if you're listening, you can confirm or deny this. I felt I wasn't getting any luck with my applications because I didn't reside in the greater Los Angeles area. So I then decided that I needed to just take the risk and move to LA first, get a local address to put on my resume, and continue my job search there. So the first step for me was to set myself a reasonable deadline. I told myself, let's stay in LA for 3 months, and if you can't land a job in 3 months, then this isn't the right time. The next step then was to find a place to stay for 3 months. I didn't have any friends or family in LA at the time, and I wasn't aware of any places that offered short-term leases like that, so I opted for Airbnb. First off, I was super familiar with that platform and I felt like it was reliable and safe. And secondly, it offered the flexibility that I was looking for. For instance, I wouldn't be locked in a long-term lease that I wasn't sure I could commit to, and the place would already be furnished, the amenities provided, and utilities all set up. Also, the cool thing about Airbnb is that the hosts are usually really cool. A little tip if you guys are interested in going this route is to actually message the host of a property that you're interested in and ask them if they would give you a discount for, say, staying for 3 months or however long you want. Personally, a lot of hosts offered me discounts if I stayed for 3 months, so that helped out a lot because, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. And that leads me to the topic of money. Obviously, if you're going to go this route and you are like me and don't have a job, you'll need quite a bit of money saved up to pay for the biggest expense, which will most likely be the Airbnb. And I'm very fortunate to have wonderful and supportive parents that help me pay for the Airbnb payments, but I know that not everyone has that kind of support. So if you do want to go this route, definitely make an effort to do your research, punch in the numbers, and figure out how much money you need to save and make that a savings goal. I definitely recommend looking for things like guest houses because those are a lot cheaper than, say, an entire apartment to yourself. Because, remember, your goal isn't to live it up, but to simply get a local address to put on your resume and start hunting for a job immediately. And I definitely recommend using Airbnb or similar platforms just because I had a peace of mind the whole time I was staying there, because I knew I wasn't going to be surprised by any unexpected expenses, and all I really needed to be aware of were the Ubers or Lyfts to get to interviews and get groceries. So let's fast forward a bit. You are in your dream city and you are all settled in your Airbnb. Pretty much at this point, it would be up to you and your skills and knowledge to secure a job. But let's say you were like me and are very anxious about not having any income whatsoever. And I knew I was going to be like that. So I actually packed along some copies of my resume that included my past restaurant experience so that I could pass that along to restaurants that were looking for help. And literally the following day I got to my Airbnb, I walked around my neighborhood looking for restaurants that were hiring and handed managers my resume on the spot. And I also want to add that I think it helps to be super honest here and tell the manager why you are looking to work there, because it sets expectations, builds trust, and you're not going to surprise the manager when you quit in a couple months because you found a new job, And I personally told the first manager that I spoke to that I am looking for a temporary job to help me pay expenses while simultaneously looking for a job that is more related to what I studied in college. And I kid you not, I got the job on the spot, and my first day was a couple days later. And to this day, I still look back and am so appreciative of all the people at that restaurant because they knew my intentions and yet they still hired me and gave me a flexible job where I could set my own hours, and that gave me a lot more spending money. And yeah, that's about it. With regards to my job search, it ends with me getting a contract role at a pretty good company in 1 month that paid fairly well. And I was able to stop living in an Airbnb and move into a rental with 2 other friends that helped split the rent. And it's now 2022, almost the end of 2022, and I'm still living in LA, and I honestly wouldn't change anything that I did given the resources that I had at the time. So yeah, this is my experience, and I hope that sharing this story maybe inspired you to get out of your comfort zone, take on some reasonable risks, or maybe gave you some tips or ideas on going about moving to a new area. So let me know in the comments if anything in this story stuck out to you, or go ahead and share what it was like when you moved to a new city by yourself. I'd love to read it. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.